Hello everybody, my name is Zhane, and welcome to my cozy corner. Today, I'll be reading you Jacky Ha-Ha Gets the Last Laugh. So here we go. It's Not the End of the World, starring Academy Award winner Jacky Ha-Ha and of course, The Rock. Send that hunk of junk back to Jupiter where it belongs. Rock may beat scissors, but racket beats rock. Prologue. Unless an asteroid hits the planet sometime in August, this summer will not be the end of the world. Trust me, girls, you're going to be fine. Mom promise. Tina, I know you're going to sleepaway camp for the first time ever. Sorry about the shouting. I know I should probably use my indoor voice, but you'll have fun. You'll swim, go on hikes, paddle canoes, shoot arrows, have the targets only, please, and meet all sorts of new friends. I never got to go to a regular summer camp when I was your age. It's why I still don't know the recipe for s'mores. I know graham crackers are involved. I sure wish I knew how to do something fun with graham crackers besides making gingerbread houses that nobody ever wants to eat because the graham cracker walls taste like plasterboard. And Grace, I understand your anxiety because you're going to soccer camp. But you're very good at soccer. A superstar. Me? I still don't understand why you have to use your feet all the time and can't just scoop up the ball with your hands and toss it into the goal. You can use your hands in football and, hello, it's called a football. But you, Grace, are amazingly talented. The best soccer player your dad and I have ever seen. And don't forget, we watched that soccer movie She's the Man twice. And yes, all the other kids at Camp Super Soccer Stars will also be extremely good at kicking, chipping, covering, and crossing. But remember, they put their knee socks on one leg at a time, just like you. And I think they put their shin guards on before they do that. Not sure. You need to do a little more research on that one. But first, to ease your fears, I want to tell you guys one more story from my exciting summer of 1991. This took place in August, to be precise, after my big Shakespearean debut. After a few of my sisters had fallen in love, after I helped Dad land his first job with the Seaside Heights Police Department, after I climbed the Ferris wheel a couple of times to hell at the moon, I was facing something like what you guys are facing. I was certain my world, as I knew it, was about to come to an end. But I survived. I'm still here. I've been on Saturday Night Live, I starred in a few TV shows, I won an Academy Award, and Jamie Grimm, the funniest cow on my planet, is my close personal friend. Still, believe it or not, my career almost ended before it even got started. Chapter 1. Okay, girls, like I said, it's still the summer of 1991. I'm 12 years old. It's August, what they call the dog days. It's so hot, cows are giving evaporated milk. It's so hot, New York City asks the Statue of Liberty to lower her arm. It's so hot, I'm panting like Sand Fleas, our dog, and wishing I could shed my fur the way she does every summer. I also wouldn't mind splashing around in my little sister Emma's kiddie pool. Fortunately, the Super Soaker squirt gun was everywhere in 1991. Very refreshing. And, in August 1991, the minimum wage is $4.25 per hour. I don't swim in your toilet, so please don't pee in my pool. I know this because that's how much my boss Vinny is paying me at the balloon race booth on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, where I have a summer job. It's a pretty goofy game. You aim a metal squirt gun at a clown's tiny mouth. When you nail the spinning target between his teeth, a balloon attached to the pointed tip on the clown's hat starts to inflate. First balloon to get blown up so big that it actually blows up wins. Now, as you might recall, June and July were filled with excitement, intrigue, and romance. I was in a professional production of A Midsummer's Night Dream starring international superstar LaToya Sharon. I think she hangs out with Mariah Carey on a regular basis. I helped my dad bust a notorious graffiti tagger, and fortunately, not much of that romantic junk happened to me in June or July. Cupid's arrow bullseyed my big sisters Hannah, she's 14, Victoria, she's 15, and Sophia, the second oldest, she's 18. In August, all of that is over. Well, not all the romances. Some of those are still going on. I know, gross. But my dream show family has scattered. There is nothing fun or exciting to look forward to. Just another long month of hot work, setting up balloons and squirt guns for all the tourists flocking to Seaside Heights for their summer vacations. After that, school. Blech. Well, except for the drama club and my friends, and those corn dogs in the cafeteria. Did I mention that we're having a horrible heat wave? At 9 o'clock in the morning, it's already 90-some degrees with 90% humidity. My t-shirt is permanently glued to my spine with sweat. There's no breeze, just swarms of vicious, skin-biting flies known as greenheads. By noon, I'm afraid I might melt. My hair is so damp and stringy, it looks like I'm wearing a wet mop on my head. My spiel to attract customers has lost most of its zing and all of its sparkle. Win a Tweety for your sweetie, I drone wearily. Take home a buck for your sweetheart. Step right up and squirt a clown. Show Bozo there's a new sheriff in town. Finally, I have 8 sweaty shooters all lined up. I have an audience. The show must go on, and so must I. I bop the button and ring the bell. Water gushes through hoses and up into the pistols. In a flash, there are 8 jets of cool, refreshing liquid arcing from the nozzles of the squirt guns to the clown targets 4 feet away. I imagine I am in Rome. My balloon race booth becomes the Trevi fountain from the Oscar-winning movie 3 Coins in the Fountain. I start singing, pretending that I'm that Jersey Shore favorite, Frank Sinatra. 3 coins in the fountain, I warble. The crowd gawks at me, their jaws hanging open. Clearly, they are mesmerized and demand more. As I sing on, I skip and twirl and dance my way up and down the water fountain firing line, tossing pennies over my shoulder. I'm also getting totally soaked by the players, pausing to let some of the squirt gun water shoot directly into my mouth instead of the clown's. I'm having a blast getting blasted. I wonder if my thought balloon will pop when I hit the ground. And then, like always, I go too far. I had a coin-flinging spin, a very balletic pirouette. All that water that's splashing off me is also pooling and puddling on the floor. I slip, I fall, I land on my butt. Now half the boardwalk is laughing, not with me, at me. Yep, it's just like when I was back in pre-K and stuttered every time I tried to say my name. Jacky Hart came out as Jacky Ha-Ha Hart, which is how, thanks to some 5-year-old bullies named Bubblebutt and Ringworm, it quickly became known as Jacky Ha-Ha. That nickname stuck with me like bubblegum on the sole of my shoe. And the shoe at the counter laughing the loudest when I slip and fall? It's Bubblebutt. Chapter 2. Okay, Bubblebutt's real name is Bob Bronkowski, and believe it or not, in the summer of 1991, he's trying his hardest to reform his ways and become a decent human being. He's still a big, beefy kid who buys his clothes off what J.C. Penney calls the husky rack, but he's no longer the bully he was back in kindergarten, when he hung me upside down on the jungle gym with my nose hovering 6 inches above a fire ant mound. Bob actually helped me out that summer. His old friend and partner in bullying, Ringworm? Not so much. Anyway, I can't blame Bob for laughing at me like that. Even though I look completely ridiculous, I don't want to stand back up. This shaded puddle of water on the balloon booth floor is very refreshing. Like a waterbed filled with ice cubes. But I have to get back to work. Looney isn't paying me that whopping $4.25 an hour to sit on my butt. That's his job. He has a squeaky stool with a foam rubber seat patched with duct tape that he perches on all summer long. Bob leans over the counter to give me a hand and hoists me up to my feet. Thanks, Bob, I say. No problemo, Jacky, he says. He sniffed my hand. It smells like Calvin Klein cologne. I think Bob collects those scented sample cards that follow a magazines and rubs them on his face whenever he casually drops by my booth to pop a few balloons. Hey, Bob, I say. What are you doing later on? He shrugs. I don't know. I think he's playing cool. Maybe he read about doing that in one of those scented magazines. All day long, while I've been doing my spiel and setting up the balloon races, I've been staring at the t-shirt hut on the other side of the boardwalk. The usual suspects are there. The stupid and I'm with stupid shirts with their pointing fingers. The shirts that say FBI, full-blooded Italian. Cartoon character shirts. But one really catches my eye. It has a funny quote emblazoned on its chest. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Yes, that's where I have my major aha moments in life. The t-shirt racks of a souvenir shop. That shirt really speaks to me. Everything snaps into focus. Who am I trying to kid? I'm never going to be a Shakespearean actor with a phony British accent. That isn't the real me. The whole Midsummer Night's Dream thing was a fluke. And yes, I've been on a show with Latoya Sharon, but I'm never going to be the next Latoya Sharon. I need to be me. Jacqueline Hart, daughter of Mac and Sydney Hart. A kid from a Jersey Shore town who will never be more than a kid from a Jersey Shore town, and unlike that other Jersey Shore kid known as the boss, Bruce Springsteen. I don't think I'm born to run. I was born to stay. I'm a boardwalk barker, a practical joker, a class clown cut-up. Once, at a 7-Eleven, I pumped mustard and pickle relish into the bottom of a Slurpee cup, sprinkled that gunk with salt and pepper, swirled in a frosty red slush pod from the Slurpee dispenser, stuck in a shawl, and gave it to my friend Bill Phillips. When he sucked in a little taste of that custom-crafted smooth refresher, he started gacking. I claimed it was a new flavor, cherry mustard pickle pepper. I thought I was hysterical. Bill didn't. Neither did my best friend Meredith. But I was just being me, the only me I know how to be. It's like I have a little angel and devil sitting on opposite shoulders. The devil is constantly poking and prodding me to do wild stuff, like that Slurpee stunt. Meanwhile, the angel on my other shoulder seems to enjoy taking time off. Sometimes she's just not there to steer me in the right direction. I think she watches a lot of TV. Let's do something crazy with Bob after work. Watch reruns of Highway to Heaven. Anyway, it's so unrelentingly hot and humid and stifling and boring. I knew I needed to do something to shake things up. I need to break out of the dog day doldrums. So I tell Bob to meet me when I get off of work that afternoon. He does. Let's do something crazy, I tell him as I step out of the booth at 5. Okay, says Bob. He's up for anything. How about we dare each other to eat one of everything on the boardwalk? I shake my head. Been there, done that. Just then, the devil perched on my shoulder has a really good, horrible idea. But how about we eat something greasy and ride a ride? Then we eat something worse and ride another ride. Bob's goofy grin widens all the way across his face. I like it. We keep going until one of us pukes. Instead of a battle of the bands, we'll have a battle of the barfs. I shake his hand. Whoever blows chunks first loses. Deal. Game on. I can't wait. This is going to be the best boardwalk day ever. Chapter 3. Bob and I have a blast eating our way up and down the boardwalk. Come on, who doesn't love an Italian sausage sandwich? It's a soggy hoagie bun stuffed with spiced pork, greasy grilled peppers, green and red for the Italian flag, and glassy, also greasy onion slices. Give me mine of sweet sausage, I tell the guy scooting and scraping all the ingredients around with a spatula on a sputtering grill. Nuh-uh, says Bob. Hot and spicy. 2 of them. Ooh, he's upping the stakes. This guy is serious about this barthathon. Challenge accepted, I say. We've wolfed down our sandwiches and, feeling bloated, hurried to the Madhouse roller coaster. It's a tight track with wicked sharp turns. Every time you fly into a curve, you think you're going to rocket off the edge and die. Just when you recover, the little mouse car whips into another turn, throws you another curve, and you think you're about to die all over again. It's a blast. It also returns those Italian sausage sandwiches to the back of our throats. We get to taste it all over again, but neither one of us hurls, heaves, or tosses our cookies. We move on to a pizza stand. Bob ups the stakes again. No slices, Jackie. We each have to eat a whole calzone. Calzones are like folded over pizza dough, pop-over stuffed with ricotta and mozzarella cheese, plus salami and ham. Talk about a belly bomb. We each choke one down. Next ride, the swinging pirate ship. It's an open gondola designed to look like, you guessed it, a pirate ship. It swings back and forth, higher and higher. It's kind of like being on a seesaw and a swing at the same time. Arr! There he blows! Almost! The ride glides to its end and we stumble out of our seats. But I do not spew the spumoni. Neither does Bob. So it's time for dessert. We go to a bakery that sells giant cookies the size of manhole covers. These jumbo chocolate chip cookies are topped with sprinkles and chunks of other cookies. Oreo, Nutter Butters, animal crackers, Chips Ahoy. Why do I think this cookie is going to make me feel crumbly? We break the cookie in 2 and share it. Bob looks a little green around the gills as we waddle up the boardwalk to the next ride. I catch my reflection in a mirror at the top of a rotating sunglasses display. I look even greener. We're talking Kermit the Frog green. All of a sudden, our best boardwalk day ever doesn't feel so bestie anymore. Chapter 4. You want to call it a tie? Groans Bob as we make our way to the next ride. The dreaded Gravitron. I shake my head. Nope, a tie is like kissing your sister. Which one? Says Bob, wiggling his eyebrows. You got a bunch of them. That earns Bob a knuckle punch in the arm. I deserve that, he says. He's right, he did. If any ride is going to make one of us lose our lunch or early supper, it'll be the Gravitron. It's decorated to look like a spaceship, but it's basically a big whirling barrel. It reminds me of the spin cycle on a washing machine. The barrel reaches a rotation rate of 24 RPM in a flash less than 20 seconds. All that rotating creates centrifugal force, an outward pull that glues you to the padded walls like a limp pair of soggy socks. Once you're pinned in place, the floor drops out from beneath your feet. Bob and I take side-by-side positions. Good luck, Jackie, he says. Then he belches. His breath smells like salami, pepperoni, garlic, peanut butter, and animal crackers. It's pretty gross, until I burp and smell my own breath. It's worse. There are definitely Tic Tacs in my future, maybe a whole rattling box of them. The ride starts up. In no time, we're both glued to the wall. My stomach is being pulled back toward my spine. My cheeks are flapping. I feel like I'm undergoing NASA astronaut training, which, by the way, is probably like swimming. You shouldn't do it for an hour after eating. With all the food in my stomach, I think they should rename this ride the Salad Spinner. My legs feel like rubber noodles when, finally, the barrel spins to a stop and the exit doors slide open. We stumble out to the boardwalk. Bob doesn't bark, but I do. I lurch forward and retch up everything. I literally blow chunks. Chocolate chip chunks, sausage hunks, calzone lumps. A colorful reminder of all the delicious food I snarfed down in less than an hour. And I'm not looking where I'm spewing. I'm just bent over, wishing there was a toilet in the middle of the boardwalk instead of some dude. All I see are his knobby knees, his socks, and his Nikes, and the mess I'm making all over the tips of his kicks. Finally, when I feel like I heaved my last load, I look up. It's Bill Phillips, he of the crazy gorgeous hazel eyes, the boy that I have a kind of sort of crush on. Hey, I'm 12 going on 13. It's summer. It happens. Even to me. Hi Bill, Bob says at first. Just so you know, bro, Jackie and I aren't on a date or anything. The way he says it, it sounds like, why would anybody in their right mind want to go on a date with Jacky Ha-Ha? My mouth is too gross for me to speak, so I give Bill a finger wiggle and wave and a sad puppy dog look to say sorry. And not just for what I did to his shoes. His Air Jordans look like scare Jordans. Well, Jackie, I got a book, says Bob. Let's do this again. Not. He runs away as fast as he can. Bill slides the sides of his sneaks along the boardwalk planks. That scrapes off the big stuff. Then he dumps his jumbo-sized soda and knives on the mess to wash it away. Wish I bought along one of the squirt guns from the balloon race booth, I try to joke, which is much hard to do when you're feeling queasy and smelling cheesy. Bill steps back a pace or two. I think he just got a whiff of my Jif, to borrow a line from a peanut butter commercial. Bill shakes his head. I think he's disappointed in me. Not as disappointed as I am in myself, but close. Haven't you played a scene before? He asks. Yeah, a couple times. Jackie? Yeah, Bill. I think you might need a new script. Yes, girls. Your father was always the wisest, smartest, not to mention sweetest, boy in the whole state of New Jersey, even when we are 12. Chapter 5. Things are hot and boring for me and my sisters at home, too. There are 6 of us hot girls currently residing at Seaside Heights. Think of us as little women down the Jersey Shore. Only none of us owns an ankle-length dress or a shoulder cape, which is a good thing. Dad didn't put the AZ units in the windows of our tiny beach bungalow this summer. Our house is an oven. My parents are saving money because, even though Dad already hasn't offered to become a full-time cop right after Labor Day, in August he's still working as a very low-paid auxiliary cop. But SHPD doesn't even issue him a real police hat, just a navy blue baseball cap. Meanwhile, Mom, back from her service in Iraq, the first Gulf War, the one they call Desert Storm, is going to cop school at a nearby community college. She is earning $0 a week, but spending a bunch of money on books and other college stuff. That's why any Hart girl who is old enough to have a work permit also has the summer job on the boardwalk. In addition to our day jobs, my sister and I are in charge of house cleaning and meal prep. Even on days when, according to the radio, it's steamy, sweltering, and sweaty. It's so muggy out, you can wear the air while it frizzes off your hair, says Hannah, cooling herself off in front of the open refrigerator. Hannah is 14 and super sweet. She's working her dream job at the Fudgery. Well, it was a dream until they started docking her paycheck for the free samples she kept nibbling. How else am I supposed to know what all the different flavors taste like? She asked her bosses. They told her to use her imagination. Quit your belly aching, Hannah, barks Emma. Hoorah! We need to whip this house into tip-top condition 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior. Emma is 6. We call her the little boss. Our mom was a Marine. We think Emma might have inherited every single one of Mom's Marine genes. Victoria, don't you dare call her Vicky, is 15 going on 50. She thinks the rest of us are so immature. She has a job at Willie B. Williams' Staffy Shop. She also has an opinion about everything because, well, she already knows how everything there is to know. Someday, I think they might name the local library after her. She's their biggest reader. Everybody, Victoria says between flicks of her feather duster, just a quick reminder, be sure to circle May 23rd on your calendars. Why? I ask, because somebody has to. This is August. It won't be me again until next year. But, you guys, May 23rd is National Taffy Day. Seriously? Says Sophia. How does everybody celebrate? By combing sticky clumps of goo out their hair? Sophia is 18, and the second oldest, or, as she likes to put it, the oldest sister still living at home, because Sydney, who's 19, is in college at Princeton, which is also in New Jersey, by the way. Sophia has found her one true love at least a dozen times, just this summer. Then there's Riley. She's 11, 1 year younger than me. That's why I kind of feel sorry for her. Technically, she should look up to me, see me as a role model. But, as Bob or Bill or that devil on my shoulder will gladly tell you, I could be a very bad influence. I know I sure wouldn't want to be my little sister. Anyway, after a hard day of work, we're all putting in another few hours of hard work. Under the stern and unblinking eye of Emma, we're scrubbing toilets, dusting every dustable surface, vacuuming sand out of the rugs, and mopping more sand off the floors. Sand Fleas, our beloved Mutt, is right there with us. She likes to chase the mop and snarl at the vacuum. But everybody's exhausted and sweaty. Yes, all our shorts are currently sweat shorts. Our shirts, sweat shirts. Our unair-conditioned house is a sauna. I can't take this anymore, moans Hannah. Yes, you can, worm, barks Emma. She's definitely drill sergeant material. Work isn't supposed to be fun. That's why they call it work. Emma gives me an idea. Maybe work can be fun. We could turn our chores into a song and dance routine, like something out of a Broadway musical. We could choreograph our cleaning moves to a cool tune. So I dig through Mom and Dad's collection of records. Those are round vinyl things that make music when you scratch a nail through their grooves. Look it up. I find the perfect tune. Car Wash by Rose Royce. It's the Golden Globe nominated original song from the 1976 movie Car Wash starring Richard Pryor and George Carlin. I'm guessing Mom and Dad saw on a date or something back when Dad was Mac Hart, the best looking boy on the beach, and thanks to Mom, had the t-shirt to prove it. I spin the disc and crank up the volume. Come on, hot girls, I shout. I need everybody to get up, get up, get up. I need some energy. Come on now. Before long, we're all moving and shaking, dancing our way through the drudgery. You may not ever get rich, but let me tell you, it's better than digging a ditch. I wish I was in a car wash right now. All that cold, refreshing water. The whole house is white glove clean in less than an hour. We're ready for inspection, but Dad has to work a double shift, and Mom has to hit the college library. We're on our own for dinner. How about pizza? I suggest with a wink to Emma. Cheese pizza. Cheese pizza is the only kind my 6-year-old sister will eat. And usually it's her first food choice, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. No, she says, stomping her feet on the squeaky clean floor. That's too darn hot. Wow. Emma saying no to pizza? I guess there's a first time for everything. Okay, I say. How about cereal? That's nice and cold. Yes, everybody agrees. So we have a Fruit Loops and Fruity Pebbles feast. And while we're all gathered around the table eating, a true miracle takes place. There's actually a hint of a breeze blowing through the screens in the windows and our open back door. Chapter 6. Later that week, I'm walking back to work on the boardwalk. The heat is unrelenting. It's so hot, I wouldn't be surprised if all the sand on the beach has turned into glass. The air is heavy too. It weighs down all the smells from all the food stalls. The aromas are trapped in some kind of invisible nose-level cloud. And, after my barf-a-thon with Bob, there is no worse odor in the world than sizzling sausage Italian sausage sandwiches. Except for maybe that garlicky ham and salami calzones, or chocolate chip cookies the size of a spare tire, my stomach's doing flip and flops. I will never do anything that ridiculous again. I'm actually making a pinky swear with myself when, all of a sudden, somebody, a total stranger, recognizes me. Hey, she says, you're that girl. You put on quite a show. I perk up, smile modestly. I take it you saw me playing puck at Shakespeare down the shore in June? Huh? Shakespeare? Yes, I say, with just enough of a British accent. I was Puck in A Midsummer's Night Dream. Nah, I didn't see it, says the girl I've never met before with a snap and popping for chewing gum. But you were definitely the girl picking up chunks of gunk all over that poor dude's new Nikes on the boardwalk the other day. Now that was some show. Hilarious. Are you going to do a repeat performance anytime soon? Because my friends that I'm staying with, they missed the first show and... I walk away. Fast. I make a beeline for the balloon race booth, where two mysterious women in sunglasses and headscarves are waiting for me. One I recognize immediately as Miss O'Mara, my English teacher, drama club director, and all-around mentor. Miss O'Mara knows tons about theater. She started Annie on Broadway when she was a kid. She was also in my Midsummer's Night Dream cast. Oh, who am I kidding? It was really her dream cast. She helped put the whole Shakespeare down the shore thing together. And standing with her, with not only a headscarf but a baseball cap pulled down tight to her humongous glasses, is, I'm pretty sure, Miss O'Mara's longtime friend and former Annie castmate, LaToya Sharon. That's right, the LaToya Sharon. The same LaToya Sharon who's won 3 Grammys, a couple of Tony Awards, and an Oscar for Best Original Song that wasn't the one from Car Wash. She's wearing the hat, scarf, and the sunglasses so she can try to stay incognito, to blend in with the crowd and go unrecognized, which is super hard for her to do. A lot of the shops and stalls in the boardwalk have all sorts of LaToya Sharon merchandise. T-shirts, some have sequins and glitter, others are airbrushed like a black velvet painting, posters, and bobblehead dolls. Her summer song, Can't Beat the Heat of My Heartbeat, is #1 on all the charts and is constantly blasting out of speakers in nightclubs all over Seaside Heights. Think about the biggest pop star you know. In 1991, LaToya Sharon is twice as popular. She's bigger than Paula Abdul, Mariah Carey, Olivia Newton-John, and Vanilla Ice combined. Okay, everybody's bigger than Vanilla Ice. But you get the picture. Miss O'Mara and Miss Sharon don't see me yet. They're just chit-chatting. So how's your daughter? I hear Miss O'Mara ask Sharon. She's doing great. What's the 411 on that guy you were seeing in the city? Miss O'Mara shakes her head and laughs. Don't go there. You should bring him to see my new show. We start previews in a couple weeks. You're at the Elven Theater? Yep, our old stomping grounds. I'm, of course, wondering what a mega superstar triple threat singer, dancer, actor like LaToya Sharon is doing back in town. Sure, she was in Seaside Heights for the Shakespeare show, but like I said, that was weeks ago. Miss O'Mara? I say. Miss Sharon? LaToya Sharon? Oops, the minute I say her name, heads whip around. A lot of those heads are poking up out of those LaToya Sharon t-shirts I told you about. The boardwalk erupts and squeaks. Squeak! That's her! That's LaToya Sharon! I need to get my bobblehead doll autographed. I can't believe that's her! I can't believe that's really LaToya Sharon! I can't believe I autographed a baseball. Will you sign my shirt? Miss Sharon is mobbed. The Sharpies come out. She sang everything everybody shoves at her. I'm not sure why that one guy wants a LaToya Sharon autographed baseball, but he does. Sorry, I say. My bad. Come on, I know a place where we can hide. Chapter 7. The Beachcomber is the sit-down restaurant where my sister Sophia has her summer job. That's why she comes home smelling like a hamburger with a side of onion rings all the time. The Beachcomber is only open for lunch and dinner, but Sophia's already on the job in the morning, refilling ketchup bottles and salt shakers. Sophia sees me and the two ladies in sunglasses and handscarves dashing toward the restaurant. She hurries into the lobby, twists the lock, and opens the door. Miss Sharon and Miss O'Mara tumble in. I stand at the door and address the crowd while Sophia plays hostess and finds her unexpected guests the booth at the back, far away from the front windows. We're so glad you guys could chase us across the boardwalk, I tell the mob outside the restaurant. They're all eagerly waving things they want Miss Sharon to sign. Miss Sharon is flattered that you chose to mob her instead of the boss. Bruce Springsteen? Someone shouts. Is he here too? Screams someone else. Not sure, I say, but rumor has it Bruce loves to play skee-ball with John Bon Jovi. I glance over at the nearby arcade. The crowd sees me glancing. They put two and two together, jump to conclusions, and take off, on the trail of the Jersey Shore's biggest rock stars. Yep, they're born to run in a blaze of glory. When I'm sure the LaToya Sharon fans have disappeared, I make my way to the back of the restaurant. Sophia's boss is posing for a photo with Miss Sharon. Sophia snaps it for him on his fancy digital camera. In 1991, if anybody said a phone could take pictures, they would have laughed out of the room. Can I get you young ladies anything? Sophia, smiling boss, asks Miss Sharon and Miss O'Mara. No, thank you, Sam, says Miss Sharon. But none of the Beachcomber blushes. You remember my name. Of course I did, Sam. You're very unforgettable. Now Sam is being. You ladies stay here as long as you like. Sophia, they need anything, you give it to them. On the house. Yes, sir, Mr. Doshi, says Sophia. She shoots me a wink and goes back to tipping ketchup bottles into ketchup squeezers. I think we just earned her some brownie points with her boss. Miss O'Mara motions for me to join her and Miss Sharon in the booth. Phew, they aren't mad at me for blowing their cover. I slide into the vinyl bench opposite them. You did good out there with the crowd, said Miss Sharon. Thanks. I just sort of improvised. Miss O'Mara nods. She's the one who taught me how to create a scene out of nothing. You're very talented, Jacky, Miss Sharon continues. And now it's time to up your game. Well, I said, I really don't play many of the games on the boardwalk. They won't let me because I know how to beat them, like the ring toss. All you really have to do is bend down low and... I stop because both women are shaking their heads. That's not what LaToya is talking about, says Miss O'Mara. We came to the boardwalk today to find you. We think you should go to camp. Seriously? I say, like hiking and swimming and arts and crafts? Just that last bit, says Miss Sharon. Your art and your craft. You have raw talent. But talent is nothing without hard work and training. I think you should do like I did when I was your age. You want me to win a Grammy Award? I say. Miss Sharon smiles. No, that came a few years later. When I was your age, I went to Camp Footlights. It's a performing arts training center outside New York City. A wonderful place to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, to learn valuable skills. It's also in a beautiful woodsy setting, adds Miss O'Mara. She shows me a brochure. There are all sorts of pictures of kids my age or a little older. They're singing, they're dancing, they're playing on shows. They look like they're having fun. And they all look 10 times more talented than I'll ever be. Camp Footlights, where tomorrow's stars shine bright tonight. Chapter 8. I quickly discover. Over free iced tea courtesy of Sophia and her boss, Mr. Doshi, that Miss Sharon will not take no for an answer. You need to do this, Jacky. But... Yes, I'm stammering again. If this pressure keeps up, I may stumble all the way back to my old stutter. There's a new 3-week session starting this weekend, Miss Sharon tells me. I still have a few friends on the board of directors. She's being modest, says Miss O'Mara, smiling toward Miss Sharon. LaToya is the camp's most famous alum. I wouldn't say that. Don't forget, Caroline Jean Risvold went to Camp Footlights too. My eyes go wide. Caroline Jean Risvold? I kind of gasp it. The one they call Copper because of her blazing red hair? The star of all those movies? She was in that one with Kevin Costner and that other one with Bruce Willis. Miss Sharon nods. Caroline Jean Griswold was a Camp Footlighter. Of course, I just called her Copper. We did a couple shows together. And Jackie, you don't have to worry about any of the camp costs. I'm going to pay for the whole thing. Now my jaw drops. You are? Miss Sharon smiles at me. Yep, it's payback time. Back in the day, an anonymous angel paid for me to become a Camp Footlighter. I still don't know who it was. I start wondering if I can ask the little angel at my shoulder to do some digging. Find out which one of her friends did Miss Sharon such a solid when she was a kid. And I realize that imaginary shoulder angels don't know any real angels, except the kind they seen as Hummel figurines on the boardwalk souvenir shops. So what do you say? Asks Miss O'Mara. She's beaming at me. I don't know what to say. Oh yeah, my stutter is back and making up for lost time. Breathe, says Miss O'Mara. I know it's a lot to take in. It's a very generous offer. Now Miss Sharon motions for me to sip my tea. I do. It gives me the time I need to remember some of the stuttering busting strategies Miss O'Mara taught me. Speak slowly. Speaking slowly and deliberately can reduce stress and the symptoms of a stutter. So I slow everything down. I think there are turtles and sloths who speak faster. I really appreciate the offer, I say. Several ice cubes melt in my tea during the time it takes me to say those 5 words without hitting any speed bumps. But Miss Sharon smiles. But what? Well, I'm doing okay on the Wicked W, so I pick up my pace just a little. I promised my mom and dad that I earned money for our family this summer. Miss O'Mara turns to Miss Sharon. Her parents are training for their new careers, not earning a good ton of money. I feel another splutter coming on, so I slow back down. That is correct. Not to worry, says Miss Sharon. I'll make up for the 3 weeks of income you'll lose while you're at camp. 3 weeks? Yep. That one completely stressing me out again. That's how long your camp session will last, she explains. And think about it. If you're not home, your family's food bill will go down. Maybe, I think. But now if Sophia just picks up my mealtime slack. I'm a stress stutterer. She's a stress eater. Victoria, on the other hand, is just a stress transmitter. Plus, I say, I think I may be allergic to lanyards. Both women raise skeptical eyebrows. You have to make lanyards at camp, right? Now they both laugh and shake their heads. No, says Miss O'Mara. This is a showbiz camp. No lanyards required. No lanyards required. No s'mores either. Just a lot of rehearsing and performing. Miss Sharon. There's a new show every week. Right. But, well, you see, I was, really hoping to work on my sand collection this summer. Yes, I collect balls of sand from all over. Mom even bought me some Saudi Arabia. The sand collection remark earns me well an eye roll from Miss O'Mara and a disappointed sigh from Miss Sharon. You can see right through me. They know I'm clutching at straws, and not just the bobbing up and down, and not the one bobbing up and down in my ass tea. I'm making up reasons. I can't go to Camp Footlights because, basically, I'm petrified. All those uber talented kids? No way am I at their level. I mean, seriously, did you see that brochure? Those triple threat talents are all miniature Latoya Sharons. Me? I'm just Jacky Ha-Ha. Look, says Miss Sharon, sounding disappointed and, frankly, a little frustrated. At Camp Footlights, you'll be seeing Broadway shows, performing in a new showcase every week. Writing your own material. You'll also be around kids who will challenge and push you. The staff and teachers are all terrific. The camp director, Mr. Beasley, is somewhat new, but I'm sure he's a superstar too. Jackie, this is a seriously major opportunity. He may not knock on your door again. She's right. I know it. So I nod. Can I think about it? I say. Talk it over with my family? Of course, says Miss Sharon. But I need your answer tomorrow. Mr. Beasley's holding a slot for you, but he has a waiting list a mile long. Oh, good, I think. If I say no, some other kid will get a chance to say yes. So by not going to Camp Footlights, I'd actually be doing a good deed for a stranger, right? Somehow, I don't think anyone would buy that excuse, not even the imaginary angel sitting on my shoulder. Ha! Good one, Jacky. Very funny. Yeah, I'm with the angel. That's the worst lie you've ever told yourself, and you told yourself some whoppers. Chapter 9. That afternoon, at home, my sisters helped me come up with more reasons I can't take Miss Sharon's generous offer. Have you ever read the statistics about camp-related illness and injuries? Says Victoria. I have. You can break a leg falling off a horse or playing capture the flag. You can also get a headache, nausea, a fever, or... She looks around before she whispers the next word. Diarrhea. That's because too many campers swallow lake water or eat camp food, which, by the way, might also explain some of that nausea I mentioned. You could pack fudge to eat instead of camp food, but it melt in your suitcase, says Hannah. Trust me, I know. I tried it that time we took the overnight trip to see our cousins in Philly. You can't go to Camp Footlights, says Riley. That sounds horrible. Do other campers stomp on your feet all the time? It's Camp Footlights, I tell her. Footlights, not foot fights. Oh, never mind. I tell Riley that footlights are those lights you sometimes see aiming up at performers from the front lip of the stage. Camp Footlights is like a training camp for showbiz kids. Riley's eyes go wide as she finally figures out what I'm saying. But you still can't go, Jacky. We need you to stay here. If you go to sleepaway camp, we'd choreograph our nightly house cleaning dance routine. Victoria raises her hand. I could do that. I just need to read a few more books on the subjects. Watch a few more Paula Abdul videos. Besides, I'm not sure Car Wash is the best choice of dramatic dance music. I think you should go, Jacky, says Sophia. Hey, I know if Latoya Sharon asked me to do anything, I'd do it. Plus, there might be some boys at this camp. She waggles her eyebrows. To make things worse, she picks up a couch pillow, squeezes it tight, and gives it a big smooch right on its button. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Are we learning to dance or learning to count? So my family isn't much help in the decision-making department. After dinner, more cold cereal plus even colder ice cream for dessert. Mom and Dad both have to work late again. I think about my gang of theater buddies. Who says we can't run our own showbiz camp right on the boardwalk? The boards will be our stage. The milling summer crowds of tourists and day trippers will be our audience. Bill's cassette player will be our orchestra. This way, I could work on my art and my craft without talking to Mom and Dad about camp, leaving my job, but trying to impress a bunch of super talented theater kids. So to get my idea rolling right away, I called my pals from the drama club shows and A Midsummer's Night's Dream, Dan Napolitano, Jeff Cohen, Bill Phillips, Charlotte Cook, and Meredith Crawford. We'll do our first show that night. Meredith, my BFF since forever, is an amazing singer, which is why it turns out she can't come to my camp. She's too busy packing her bags because the very next day she's heading off to her own arts camp. It's called Interlochen. It's in Michigan. They have a terrific music program. Latoya Sharon is giving me a full-ride scholarship to attend a 4-week intensive. I leave tomorrow. I'm packing now, but was going to call you right after. Miss Sharon paid for the plane tickets too. Well, what do you know, says the little devil on my shoulder. Sounds like Miss Sharon is hedging her bets. If you won't go to a fancy pants performing arts camp this summer, at least Meredith will. Schuyler, who's a few years older than me, and my older friends will be a no-show too. He and Sophia are going out tonight. Yeah, 1991 was the year they became a thing. I guess that bit with a couch cushion was Sophia's dress rehearsal for that date. Jeff Cohen is busy too. Duty calls, he tells me. I have to wear my bossy decal costume tonight and hand out flyers. Heat waves are a gold rush for the ice cream biz, Jacky. It's utter madness. Back in June, Jeff landed a job as the mascot for Swole Tip Cones. That's why he's been saying stuff like, "Have I ever steered you wrong?" all summer long. That leaves Dan and Bill. Except Dan is at home. He went on vacation with his family, Bill tells me in my column. Bill, he of the gorgeous hazel eyes, is free, and he'll join me on the boardwalk for whatever. I tell him to bring his cassette player and some music. He does. We set up shop right in front of the Ferris wheel. Let's start off with a big musical number, I tell him. Okay, of the original cast recording of Cats. Perfect, I say. Pop it in. This is going to be fun. I have no idea how wrong I am. Chapter 10. The music starts up. We pantomime a bunch of very gymnastic cat leaps, back arches, air-clawing scratches, and wildly open mouth hisses while the overture plays. People strolling along the boardwalk do their best not to make eye contact with us. Most pick up their pace as they pass. Maybe you think Bill and I are members of some kind of crazed cat cult. Skip to track 6, I tell them when the overture mercifully ends. A few ice cream cone lickers, guess Jeff's been doing a good job passing out his flyers, stop and gawk at us when we do the song The Rum Tum Tugger. It's kind of like a rap, and we're having trouble keeping our lips flapping in sync with the fast-flowing rat-a-tat lyrics. Our mistakes are like human bloopers, which I think are pretty funny. The ice cream lickers don't agree. They don't pause to laugh. They just keep on licking. Kill the music, I tell Bill. He hits the stop button on the cassette deck. Now what? He asks. We tell some jokes. We don't know any. Just follow my lead. Okay, says Bill, because he's always been far too trusting, especially when it comes to me. Hey, Bill, I say very loudly. Yes, Jackie? Why does the seagull fly over the sea? I don't know, Jackie. Why does the seagull fly over the sea? Because if it flew over the bay, it'd be a bagel. I tap a boom-bop rim shot on my thighs. The guy selling Ferris wheel tickets is giving me a dirty look. I think we're scaring away his customers. Either that or he recognizes me as the notorious Ferris wheel climber. Wow, it's hot, huh, folks? Why, it's so hot, I saw a chicken lay an omelet. It's so hot, I saw a fire hydrant chasing a pack of dogs. It's so hot, birds are using paw holders to pull worms out of the dirt. We're definitely losing our crowd. Not that we ever actually had one. But I refuse to give up. This is my performing arts training camp. In football, you need to take a few hard knocks at camp to improvise your game. Similar show business. Hey, Bill? Yeah? What do you call a snowman in the summer? A puddle, says a voice I don't recognize, because it's the guy from the Ferris wheel ticket booth. He's wearing a tank top, so the tops of his hairy shoulders are totally exposed. I don't think he shaved it a few days either. His face or his shoulders. You two are getting my business, he says, leaning close so I can't not hear what he has to say. I also get a good whiff of his, Jeff. The guy's definitely a garlic knots fan. We're just creating a public nuisance, the man tells us. That's why we called the cops. 2 police officers come strolling up the boardwalk. Well, technically, one of them isn't actually an officer. I can tell by his baseball cap that he's really just a summer auxiliary cop. Yeah, it's my dad. Dad's double shift? That night, some of it is spent giving Bill and me a stern warning. Don't do this again, you two. We promise we won't. Otherwise, I think our next comedy routine might be for all the folks locked up with us in the Seaside Heights jail. Chapter 11. So my own personal performing arts camp idea flopped like a flipped pancake that ended up on the floor. I bit the bullet and talked to Mom and Dad about Camp Footlights. Once they read the brochure and heard it was Latoya Sharon's idea and she would pay me to go, they were all the way on the board. But the next morning, as I head to work at the balloon race booth, I convinced myself that I don't need any kind of camp. Show business is just not meant to be my career. It doesn't have to be. I'm already in an apprentice program for the very lucrative field of carnival barking. Okay, I don't know how lucrative it is. Remember, I'm making $4.25 an hour. I'm pretty sure most tycoons earn more than that. But the boardwalk life has its perks. It's outdoor work, so you get plenty of sunshine and fresh air. You also get plenty of BO because sometimes that sunshine is hot and the fresh air muggy. But still, plus the boardwalk is only really in business for 3 or 4 months. I could take the rest of the year off and do stuff. When I'm done doing stuff, I could do things. My time would be my own. I'd probably end up with the best sand collection in all the land. And, as the angel on my shoulder reminds me, Vinny needs me. Sure, he's good at counting coins and making change, but I give the booth its sizzle with my snappy, comical patter. Before he came along, Vinny was having a tough time corralling shooting Hooters interested in spending their hard-earned money just to squirt clowns in the mouth to see a balloon pop. Without me, he'd be lost. No way can I shirk my responsibilities and head off to Camp Footlights and leave Vinny to face certain financial ruin. I have a career, a future. But then I see the booth. There have been some big changes overnight. For instance, the sign with all the chaser lights no longer says balloon race. There's a new sign. Apparently, the booth is now called Smack 'em, Whack 'em. The letters spelling it out are angry and snarling. And the clown heads have all been covered with rubber, open-mouthed Halloween masks. There are a couple of Darth Vaders and a few Hannibal Lecters, the Psycho Sicko from that Silence of the Lamb movie with Lady Foster, which, of course, was one of the biggest box office blockbusters of 1991. Then there are a bunch of hockey masked Jason heads from those Friday the 13th horror movies. My jolly, if creepy, rows of clown villains have been replaced by a rogues gallery of pop culture villains. Hey Jackie, Vinny says me, gulping up the alterations. Get over here. I want you to meet Anthony. He's going to be your new boss. I scurry over to the booth. The squirt gun pistols have been replaced too. They're long barrel assault rifles now. You're the one they call Jacky Ha-Ha, says Anthony, a gruff guy wearing mirrored sunglasses. I don't correct him. I'm too busy studying his pencil-thin mustache and the three strands of oily hair he has combed over his otherwise bald dome. Yes, sir. I've seen you work the booth. You have lots of snappy patter. Jokes. I smile a little. Sounds like the guy's a fan. Yes, sir, that's me. He shakes his head. No, it ain't. Not no more. You ain't gonna do no snappy patter no more. All you're gonna do is push this button. He pushes a blinking red square on what looks like an 8-track tape deck. Suddenly, a synthesized voice that sounds an awful lot like a demonic monster snarls out of the new loudspeakers that must have been installed overnight, too. The rumbling monster is buried in a jumble of horrifying explosion and scream sound effects.
Smack 'em, whack 'em, shoot 'em in the face. Watch their balloon brains explode as you save the human race.
I'm feeling sick to my stomach again. This time, boardwalk food has nothing to do with it.
Do you have what it takes to bring down the baddest bad guys on the globe? Well, do you, punk? Pop their balloons like you popped your pimples, zit face.
Finally, my new boss, Anthony, pushes the button to turn off the automated noisemaker. You don't say a word, Jacky Ha-Ha. You just play that loop. Every 5 minutes. Sure, I think. No problem. I can do that. Besides, I really wanted to lose my mind this summer. I turned to Vinny and gave him my Bambi doe-eyed look. You really sold a booth? He nods. Yeah, I'm moving to New Mexico. It's a dry heat. Anthony here? He knows his stuff. Runs that paintball blaster booth over near the taffy shop. The one where you can blast and splat old cars and mannequins and teddy bears with paintballs. You can learn a lot from him. I nod. I also reach into my pocket and pull out a crumpled $1 bill. Can you change this into 4 quarters? I ask. I need to make a quick phone call. Sure, kid. Vinny snatches my dollar, smooths it out, and finger slides 4 quarters across the counter to me. Don't take too long, Jacky Ha-Ha. Anthony snarls in a dash across the boardwalk to a cluster of payphones. I ain't paying you until you're in the booth making me some moolah. Which, of course, means he's never going to be paying me. Ever. I drop in a quarter and make my call. Miss O'Mara? It's me, Jackie. I want to thank you and Mrs. Sharon for amazing generously offer. So, when exactly do I leave for Camp Footlights? Chapter 12. On Saturday morning, my sisters helped Dad and me pack the car for the big trip to camp. I don't have all the stuff that was on the suggested packing list. For instance, tap shoes. I don't know a pair, so I packed my Sunday go-to-church Mary Janes and a cardboard sleeve of metal thumbtacks. I figured I could DIY my way to tap class. Of course, I'm not much of a hoofer anyway. That's what showbiz people call dancers, not mules. It'll be great, Riley gushes as she helps me heave my suitcase into the trunk of Dad's car. Actually, says Victoria, I've been doing some research. Of course she has. The kids at Camp Footlights are super talented, she continues. Don't get your hopes up too high, Jackie. Statistically, you're more likely to fail. So try to meet some cute boys, says Sophia. You sure you don't want some fudge for the ride? Asks Hannah. I have peanut butter swirl. No thanks, I tell her. Victoria looks at me and shakes her head. I guess it's good you get this out of your system this summer. The sooner you crash and burn. Emma steps up. Her hands are on her hips. Jacky is not going to crash or burn or fail. She's going to be the biggest star of the whole camp. She's going to teach them all how to do that car wash dance. Yeah, I've always loved my littlest sister. Break a leg, hun, says Mom, using the theory expression for good luck. And that's an order, young lady, she adds in her booby marine voice. I snap to attention and salute her. Dad, yes, ma'am. You'll be great, Jacky, says Riley as Dad closes the trunk. Break a leg, Jacky. Why do they want Jacky to injure herself? Victoria rolls her eyes. You're gonna fail, Jacky. So, says Sophia, if she fails, she'll be great at it, and she'll have more time to meet cute guys, maybe even a future soap opera star. I'll come see you in your first show next Saturday, says Hannah. Right, Dad? Yep, says my father. We have it on the calendar. We'll all be there. Come on, kiddo. It's time we hit the road. And so it's just me and my dad in the car for a 3-hour ride north to the suburbs outside New York City. I don't think my father and I ever spent 3 hours alone together. One-on-one time is impossible when you have 6 sisters. You're never really alone in the Hart House, except in the bathroom sometimes. We're cruising up the Garden State Parkway. The ride is kind of quiet. Neither one of us really knows how to talk to the other. Remember, we don't have much patience in the day chat department. Finally, Dad says, nervous? A little, I admit. He nods. I remember when I was playing ball in South Carolina. Got the call to join the Yankees farm team up in Onta. They took me to report to spring training camp. I was so jittery, Jacky. No, I was scared. Petrified. I wonder if I could even hold a bat without shaking it in my hands. Really? But you were incredible. You could hit. You could feel. Dad chuckles a little. So could all the other guys being invited to try out for the team. I was going from being a big fish in a small pond to becoming a tiny guppy in an ocean full of superstars. The best of the best from all over North and South America. Now it's my turn to nod. That's how I'm feeling about Camp Footlights. That's a whole nother level of talent. A whole new league. Well, just remember, Jacky, those other guys at baseball camp, they all put their cleats on one show at a time. Same with all the kids you're gonna meet at this camp. We don't really wear cleats on stage. Well, how about those leotard things? Sure, we wear those sometimes. And you go pull them on one leg at a time? Yes, sir. Well, Jacky, guess what? So does everybody else. I smile as goosebumps tingle up and down my arms. My baseball playing Jersey Shore cop dad never really understood theater or show business or even comedy. But he always tried to understand me. I'm glad that we had that time together in that first car ride up to Camp Footlights. He tells me all sorts of stories and does his best to buck me up, to boost my confidence, and it's working. I'm feeling better about my decision. Until, of course, we pull through the Camp Footlights gates. Chapter 13. The instant I say goodbye to Dad after check-in, I know I've made a huge, colossal, supersized mistake. Yep, I should just run back down the road and chase after Dad. Too bad he's in a car. It's way faster than my feet. I see all sorts of other Camp Footlighters scurrying around the main lodge building. Sure, they're all aged from 10 to like 18, but some walk like elegant swans, as if they had decades of ballet training. Others have so much belly energy, they put my cheery sister Hannah to shame. One girl's doing vocal warm-ups that make her sound like she's already starring in 10 shows a week on Broadway. A twinkle-toed guy is tap dancing on the wooden porch of the main lodge. Toto, I have a feeling we're not in New Jersey anymore. Either that or he is attempting to stomp out a termite infestation with syncopated rhythm. I realize, despite what Miss Sharon and Miss O'Mara may believe, I have absolutely positively no business being at Camp Footlights. To make things worse, I quickly learned that a lot of the kids coming to my 3-week session have already been up here for months, attending other 3-week sessions. "Hey, Jennifer," shouts a guy with very good diction. "Hi, Joshua. Ready for another 3 weeks of camp drama?" "You bet. It's August, remember? Turns out some of these mega talented young performers checked in back in June. Cliques have formed. Friendships have been forged. Newbies need not apply for membership in either." "Hey, new kid," someone shouts. "I think it might be a camp counselor. He's college-aged and wears a Camp Footlights polo shirt, khaki shorts, and stretchy socks that climb up to his knees. All he needs is a whistle and a lanyard. He is, however, holding a clipboard, a sure sign of authority anywhere." "Yes, sir," I say. "I'm Sean. I have a theory degree. Almost. Drop your bag inside the lodge. You need to be at the auditions." What auditions?" Sean gives me an eye roll and a sigh. "For next weekend's shows." "Right, I think. The one my whole family's coming to see." "Those are like right now?" I ask. Sean the counselor raises both eyebrows. I am so wasting his time. They are not like right now. There are right now." He consults his clipboard. "Unfortunately, because you arrived later than we advised you to, there is traffic." "There's always traffic. Anyway, the only show that still has any openings is Ashley." "Like the name, Ashley?" "Exactly like the name, Ashley. But the exclamation point. Remind me of your name." "I'm Jacky. Jacky Hart." "Well, Jacky, up here the campers write, produce, and perform all the shows. It's what Mr. Beasley calls our total immersion experience. Ashley was written by one of our true stars. Oh, who am I kidding? She's our biggest, brightest star, Ashley Jones. Mr. Beasley says she's destined to become the next Mariah Carey. No, even bigger. Ashley Jones is going to be his Latoya Sharon. Hurry, you might be able to land a role in the chorus. Where are the auditions?" I earn another eye roll from Sean. This guy's so exasperated with me. "In the barn theater, of course." "Cool. And where's that?" Now I get that you are thicker than a slab of concrete look. "In the barn," he points. I take off running. "Your luggage?" Sean calls after me. "Oh, right. Thanks." I grab my bag and haul it into the lodge, where another counselor tags it and slides it into a storage closet. "Shouldn't you be at your audition?" she asks. "No, I think. I should be back home in Seaside Heights." But that's not what I say. "Thanks," I tell her. "I'm off to the barn for my first Camp Footlights cattle call." I'm making a joke. Auditions with big groups of performers are sometimes known as cattle calls. And since this one is a barn, I get nothing, except another eye roll and a disappointed head shake. Oh yeah, I'm really going to fit in here. Chapter 14. "So, exactly how lost are you?" asks someone behind me. I'm standing in the lobby of the Camp Footlights Lodge, looking at all the different doors I could take, not knowing where any of them lead. I turn around. There's a short, smiling girl behind me. "I'm Brooklyn," she says. "From Brooklyn. No last name. Actually, I want to be a mononym like Madonna or Prince. And despite what you may be thinking, I'm not short. I'm 4'3", 11 3/4 inches tall. But on me, those 3/4 equal 1.5 inches. You know that saying, 'I'm all that in a bag of chips'?" She points at herself. That was inspired by me. "So you're Brooklyn from Brooklyn?" "Yeah. I'm just glad I wasn't born in Staten Island." "I'm Jacky," I say. "Jacky Hart." "Nice to meet you, Jacky Hart. You're new here, right?" I make a funny face and puff a hair-bobbing breath out of the corner of my mouth. "Isn't that obvious?" "Totes," says Brooklyn. "I'm a first-timer too, but this is my second session." "What's your talent?" I ask. "Singing? Dancing? Acting?" Brooklyn shrugs. "Let me get back to you on that one, Jacky Hart. I'm what they call a work in progress. But after 3 weeks of intensive training here at Camp Footlights, I'm pretty good at finding my way around. Where do you need to be?" "The barn theater. I'm supposed to be in an audition for a show called Ashley with an exclamation point." "Oh," says Brooklyn with a wink. "An audition at a barn, eh? A genuine cattle call." "Exactly," I say. relieved to have finally found a kindred spirit, someone whose mind works the way mine does. Come on, says Brooklyn. I'll show you the way, because you know what they say. There's no business like show business. I groan a little and make a pained face. Yeah, says Brooklyn. That one was definitely a groaner. Inside, I'm making a stinky face at myself. We head out of the lodge and down a gravel path through a grove of pine trees. So, Jacky, says Brooklyn, where do you live? We're from Seaside Heights. That's in New Jersey. Brooklyn nods. That's okay. I won't hold it against you. I dig Jersey, although I don't understand why they call it the Garden State. I've never seen very many tomatoes and cucumbers, just oil refineries. That's only along the turnpike. Well, that's the only part I've ever seen. But all those smokestacks lined up in a tidy row? That kind of looks like a garden. So who's the Chasseur Jones? Oh, you'll find out soon enough. What's that supposed to mean? Asked with a laugh. Brooklyn wiggles both her eyebrows. Oh, you'll find out soon enough. Chapter 15. We reach the field, and I see a big red barn. Duh. Guess that's the big barn theater. A man with a neatly trimmed beard, serious glasses, and wavy hair he probably lifts the flick on a regular basis walls out the front door. He's wearing a long-sleeved turtleneck and pleated pants even though it's the middle of August. A woman in her 20s scurries behind him, carrying one of those notepad binder things. She's dressed in a smock. One hip pocket is embroidered with a tragedy face mask, the other a comedy face mask, proving she's serious about the theater, which is how you say theater when you're trying to be fancy, something I seldom try to be. Wonder if the hoofers at this theater really are horses and cows. That's Mr. Beasley, Brooklyn whispers, camp director. Who's that walking 2 feet behind him? I whisper back. Echo. Huh? Her real name is Rebecca something or other. She just graduated from NYU with a theater arts degree. But I'll just call her Echo. Why? Brooklyn gives me a sideways grin and once again says, Oh, we'll find out soon enough. Brooklyn, says Mr. Beasley when he sees us. He tilts back his head so he can look down his nose at her. Hey, Mr. Beasley, what on earth are you doing here? He sniffs. What are you doing here? Mumbles his assistant, smock lady. Surely you're not auditioning for Ashley with an exclamation point, says Mr. Beasley. I think he's what people call pompous, haughty, arrogant, or a twit. One of those. Surely not Ashley exclamation point, mumbles the assistant, who, okay, echoes everything her boss utters. No, says Brooklyn. I mean, I wasn't planning on auditioning, just trying to help out our newest camper, Jacky Ha-Ha. She needs a show to work in this week, and they say Ashley is all that's left. Now Mr. Beasley tilts back his head and looks down on his nose at me. He really should tweezer a few of his wirier hairs, nasal hairs. They don't exactly blend in with his curly mustache. Oh, right, he says, eyeballing Brooklyn and then giving me a quick once-over. You're Jacqueline Hart. Jacqueline Hart is the Echo. Guilty as charged, I say with my winningest smile. That's a real illusion with Mr. Beasley. He snickers a little. We've been expecting you. Good luck with the audition. I'm sure Ashley will know exactly what to do with you. His mumbling flunky, of course, echoes it. Ashley will know exactly what to do with you. She even snickers. The two of them remind me of Bubba Butt and Ringworm back in kindergarten, if only one of them did all the talking. While we're here, let's head downstairs to the costume shop, Rebecca, says the camp director. Ashley's top hat needs to sizzle and sparkle in the spotlight. Michael needs to heat up his hot glue gun. It's bling time! Bling time, mumbles Echo. They toddle up toward one of the barn's side doors. Yes, Echo even echoes Mrs. Beasley's wobbly walk. And now you get to go inside and meet Ashley Jones, says Brooklyn. That certainly is your lucky day, Jacky. She's being sarcastic, of course. And I have a feeling I'm gonna wish I never left the Garden State. Chapter 16. Okay, people, settle down, says a very blonde girl who moves like a gazelle onto the stage. How does a gazelle move, you may wonder? Much more quickly and gracefully than me, that's for sure. The blonde girl also has incredible teeth. First, they're all straight. Second, they shine. It's like she swallowed a chandelier filled with 100-watt bulbs. She claps her hand. Find a seat. Sit down, people. There are audition forms and pencils on the cushions. But don't sit on the pencils, I whisper to Brooklyn. That might poke you on the butt, she whispers back. For those of you who don't know, the girl announces, gliding back and forth across the stage, strutting her stuff like a runway model, I'm Ashley Jones. You're here, of course, to audition for the show I created, wrote, produced, scored, and will be directing, choreographing, and starring in. It's all called Ashley with an exclamation point. This show isn't just about me. It's about me! Ooh, I just gave myself the screaming me-me's. I got the idea for my title from Lisa with a Z, which, as you know, was the smash Broadway hit and movie starring Liza Minnelli, the fabulous daughter of the even more fabulous Judy Garland. It was directed and choreographed by the legendary Bob Fosse. If you didn't already know all of that, ask yourself a question. What are you doing here at Camp Footlights? Good question. The same one I keep asking myself. I guess I need to find out who this Bob Fosse guy is and why he's so legendary. Everybody in the Barnes auditorium applauds. No, they give Ashley a standing ovation. Brooklyn and I exchange a sideways glance but clap along anyhow. There's something about this Ashley Jones. She has a very commanding stage presence. I bet she has it even when she's not on stage. So, aspiring thespians, singers, and dancers? Ashley says dramatically, which I'm guessing is how she says everything. Today, I'm looking from a supporting cast. That is, if you are cast in this show, you will support me. Ashley with an exclamation point is really a one-woman show with some other people in it, mostly backup singers and background dancers. I'll be the one doing all the work at center stage, constantly. What's in this show for you? She pauses to sparkle and blink. Easy. This is your big chance to be on stage with me. More cheering from our adoring fans. This time, Bilka and I just exchange a side-eye. But if what that first camp counselor, the guy with a clipboard, told me is true, Ashley with an exclamation point is the only show that currently has any slots in Openet's cast. And my family's coming up next weekend to see me in something. Anything. Specifically, Ashley goes on, I have several openings for dogs in this very Paula Abdulish song and dance number I've created where, of course, I am Paula Abdul. Now, kids, Paula Abdul is, in case you don't remember her from that time she was a celebrity judge on American Idol, is a singer and dancer who started on the Los Angeles Lakers cheerleading team when she was 18 and there became the choreographer. After making up dance moves for Janet Jackson, she had one of the most successful debut albums of all time. It sold 7 million copies. Anyways, in 1991, she's a huge star. And in her opposite track video, she does a cool dance with a cartoon cat. Sounds like Ashley wants to one-up Paula and dance with a pack of dogs. So I dutifully fill out my form and wait my turn to be interviewed by Ashley. Brooklyn fills out a form too. Right now, Ashley's the only game in town, she says with a shrug. There are no small parts, only small actors, I say, quoting something I picked up during Shakespeare Down the Shore. Brooklyn gives me a look and shakes her head. Nah, she says. Not with Ashley Jones. With Ashley, there are only small parts and one ginormous star. Her. Chapter 17. I sit in the barn and wait for my audience with a queen. Finally, she calls my name. Somehow, she mispronounces it. Jacky Ha-Ha, she says. Here. I raise my hand. You may approach. Ashley beckons for me to come on stage. It's Jacky Ha-Ha, I tell her after I climb up the steps and join her in the blazingly bright spotlight that seems to follow her everywhere. What's Jacky Ha-Ha? She asks. My name. You pronounced it Jacky Ha-Ha. You're new here, aren't you? Yes. Here's a tip, Jacky Ha-Ha. To be in the chorus of a show, you have to be a team player. You can't complain about every little thing. If you do, you'll quickly get a reputation as a diva. What's a diva? Someone who is very demanding and difficult to work with. Okay, I think. Guess I won't demand that this diva pronounce my name correctly. She glances at my audition form, where I listed some of the shows I've done. She breezes through them. A Midsummer's Night Dream? You can't take it with you? You're a good man, Charlie Brown. She pauses. Who do you play in Charlie Brown? Snoopy, I say, the dog. She eye rolls me. I know who and what Snoopy is. Do you have experience doing doggy moves? Yeah, everybody said I was. She shows me her palm. Sorry, not really interested. There's just so much to think about when you're writing, producing, and starring in a one-woman show. Really can't waste too many brain cells on other stuff. Know what I mean? Okay, show me what you got. She snaps her fingers and taps her toes to give me a bead. 5, 6, 7, 8. I do my Snoopy dance from You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. To be honest, I could have done anything. Actually, if even watching me. I noticed the full-length mirror in the front row of the auditorium. That's where Ashley's looking. At her own reflection. That's where she's striking all sorts of pucker lip poses. The girl was doing selfies long before camera phones was invented. I'm so made. For my next number, maybe I'll dance the hokey pokey. Not that Ashley would notice. Fantastic, says Ashley after I flare around for a minute. I think she's talking about her final pouty pose. I take it as my cue to stop acting. Here. Ashley hands me some sheet music. You're fine. You could be one of the dogs who loves me. But I keep shooing you away because, like the song says, my best friend is me. I wrote the lyrics. Go ahead into your Go change into your dance clothes. Call time for our French rehearsals too. Don't be late. If you are, you'll be cut from the cast. Okay, I say. Thanks. Ashley doesn't say, you're welcome. She just shoos me away with a flick of her very nicely manicured hand. I descend from the stage and almost take a tumble on the steps because that spotlight Ashley lives in, it can really blind you. Next, says Ashley, putting a hand over her eyes so she can scat out the auditorium seats. Is that you, Brooklyn? Yeah, says my new friend. Well, this is certainly a surprise. I was expecting to see you. I'm not 100% sure I want to audition, says Brooklyn, hiding her filled-in form from behind her back. Ashley rolls her eyes in exasperation. Such a prima donna. Fine, Brooklyn, fine. You don't need to audition. I know your work from the last session. You can be in the dog chorus, too. Gee, thanks. Don't mention it. Brooklyn turns to me. Let's go get you unpacked. It's already noon. Guess we need to be back here in 2 hours. I didn't bring any dance clothes, I say, feeling slightly embarrassed. Do you have sweatpants? Yeah. Sweatpants will work. They're loose. You can move in them. Come on. We head back to the lodge by a different route. There's a sidewalk with stars set into the concrete. Famous former camper names are inscribed onto the stars. I see Caroline Jean Risvold, the mega movie star. Latoya Sharon's star is cemented into the next square. That is so cool, I say. Just think, all these famous people walk the same path we're walking right now. I guess, says Brooklyn, with another one of her nonchalant shrugs. I don't really go gaga for showbiz celebrities. Really? But this is a showbiz camp. I know, but I prefer scientists. Seriously? Oh yeah, scientists don't play make-believe, Jackie. They actually do something. Come on. Room 235 is the west wing of the lodge. Is that my room? I ask. Yep. And you know this because... Easy, says Brooklyn. We're roommates. Chapter 18. Brooklyn and I skip lunch. I really don't want to go to my first rehearsal on a full stomach because I don't want to repeat my barfathon performance from the boardwalk. A little before, too. As we walk back to the barn theater, Brooklyn gives me what we used to call the 411 because that's the number we'd call for information on Ashley Jones. This is her 6th summer at Camp Footlights. She's Mr. Beasley's favorite. Madame Lamonde's, too. Who's Madame Lamond, I wonder? The camp's top dance instructor. Madame Lamonde is going to help Ashley with the choreography on her show, even though Ashley will take all the credit for it. So we're really going to have to do the dance? Brooklyn nods. I'm afraid that's what chorus kids do. They sing, they dance, and they do both in the background. I nod. I, of course, know this. How far back do you think we can go? Brooklyn stops walking. There's a worried expression on her face. She puts both her hands on my shoulders and looks me in the eye. Are you okay, Jackie? Yeah. I sometimes stutter when I get nervous. She smiles and winks. Well, stick with me. We'll bumble through the moves together, way back in the background, because I can't dance either. You can't? That's right. Check your stereotypes at the door, people. I can't dance, I can't sing, and I can't dunk. Plus, like I said, I dig scientists. They're my rock stars. I think Brooklyn is saying all this to make me feel better. And guess what? It's working. When we enter the Barn Theater, Madame Lamont is already there, scowling at us and looking very stern. She reminds me of a ballet instructor who just stepped out of a Degas oil painting. Not that she has brushstrokes all over her face or anything. She just looks like she might be French and that she definitely means business. She has one of those walking sticks ballet teachers sometimes use to point with, or maybe they just use them to poke and prod their dancers. Made her play billiards. Like I said, I'm not really a dancer. Ashley already has her moves memorized. She leaps and shimmies and arm swings her way across the stage. You are perfection in motion, my dear, Madame Lamont gushes as Ashley gracefully balances, twirls, swirls, taps, kicks, and time steps through her big number. While she's moving, she's singing the song she'll be singing to us, her backup dogs. Sorry, Pooch, you just have to see. This is how it's gotta be. Don't go barking up my tree. My best friend is me. My best friend is me. Such powerful lyrics, Ashley, raves Madame Lamont in her thick French accent, which makes her words sound even more gushy. Mon Dieu! And accompanied by such powerful yet graceful movement, you, Ashley, are my gazelle. See, I was right by the girl's gazellishness. Madame Lamont taps her walking stick on the stage's one floor. Chorus, it is now your turn. Please form 3 lines behind our star. Most of the kids race to be in the front line. Bulga and I shamble to the back. Then Madame Lamont gives us our steps. It's a very simple combination, she says. Riffle, riffle, right, right, fan kick, left, left. Heel ball change, jazz hands, heel toe, kick walk, scoot, scoot. Then, of course, the big finish. Head spin, pop, pop, spin. She might as well be speaking French. And here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Riffle, riffle, right, right, fan kick, left, left. This rehearsal feels too much like gym class or football practice. There are too many rigid rules, too many pre-planned steps. Although, to be fair, I think that's why they call it choreography. Frustrated, bumbling around, and out of step with everybody else on the stage, I decide to make up my own dance. I flap my legs, flail my arms, do the twist to the right and twist to the left. Then I twist again. I do the swim, the mashed potato, and the funky chicken. I even throw in a few moves from that movie Footloose. I'm doing my best to make people laugh with my comedic ballet. Yes, I'm the silly goose from Swan Lake. Remember how I said I'm a bad influence on my younger sister Riley? I'm having the same effect on Brooklyn. She thinks what I'm doing is hysterical. So she joins in and mirrors my moves. Madame Lamont is not amused. She bangs that stick on the floor. The music screeches to a halt. Ashley stops singing. You too, barked the camp's top dance instructor. In the back line. Do you think this is some kind of joke? Well, I want to say, folks back home do call me Jacky Ha-Ha, but I don't. I just drop my head and look down at my feet. Now Madame Lamont gasps. Brooklyn? Brooklyn gives the dance instructor a wiggly finger wave. Hey there, Madame Lamont. Are those two trying to upstage me? Demands Ashley. Oui, says Madame Lamont. It appears they are. They're not true musical comedy material, Madame Lamont, shrieks Ashley. Then she stomps off stage in a tizzy. Madame Lamont turns to Brooklyn. I am very disappointed seeing you behave this way. I will assume that this new girl, this class clown, is a bad influence. Nah, she's just Jackie. She's my new friend and roomie. Report to the costume shop immediately, fumes Madame Lamont. Both of you. There, you will neither sing nor dance. There, all you will do is sit and sew. Chapter 19. So, yeah, Brooklyn and I are basically banished to the basement of the barn, the costume shop. It's a dark cinder block walled room. There are a couple of sewing machines, bolts of fabric on tables, and increments of costume fragments pinned to their torsos. Through the ceiling, we can hear all the dancers clomping across the stage, which is directly above us. The show must go on, even if Brooklyn and I must not go on with it. I'm sorry, I tell Brooklyn. For what? She says. I had a blast. That dance was the bomb. As far as I'm concerned, Madame Lamont can take that stick of hers and... Brooklyn? A boy a few years older than us steps out of a door labeled costume storage. He's hugging a lumpy bundle of star-sprinkled somethings. Hey, Michael, says Brooklyn. What are you doing down there? She gestures at me. We're your new costume assistants. This is my friend Jacky Ha-Ha. She's wicked funny. Hi, I say. I feel like I should shake hands with Michael, but he has that bundle of sequin costumes in his arms. Speaking of his arms, they're kind of rippled with muscles. Not that I was, noticing his muscles were the ripples, or his cute face. Didn't notice any of that at all. Hi, he says softly. Michael is extremely handsome with feathery, swept-back hair. Okay, the hair I noticed. He could be on the cover of Teen Beat magazine. He sets the costumes down on a cutting table. So, he says, who do you intend to wind up down here? Queen Ashley, says Brooklyn, and Madame Lamont. Ooh, a doubleheader. It was kind of my fault, I say. I was goofing around, making up my own dance. Michael arches an eyebrow. I take it you dance to the beat of a different drummer? Yep, I say. Don't we all? Says Brooklyn. Well, I say, my different drummer isn't even in the band. They make him play outside on overturned plastic paint tubs. Anyway, I got us both kicked out of Ashley with an exclamation point. Now Michael rolls his eyes. You're not the first. Probably won't be the last. So how can we help down here? Asks Brooklyn. Well, I pulled all the blinky cuts we have in storage. Hopefully one will be sparkling enough for Ashley. Mr. Boozy wants to shine like the star she is. We'll worry about whenever it fits later. Now we need to find her a top hat. A glittery top hat. Think a chorus line, big finale, singular sensation sparkling. Got it, says Brooklyn. Whenever Ashley does a show, we have a severe sequin shortage. The girl loves her glitz. When in doubt, just add glitter. I think that's the official unicorn motto. Got it, I say, even though I don't really know what Michael's talking about. I think it's some more of that theater kid code I need to catch up on. Brooklyn and I follow Michael into the dimly lit costume storage area on our quest for spangling top hats. We walk through a wardrobe warehouse in what feels like the catacombs beneath the Barn Theater's auditorium. It's a giant closet filled with costumes from past shadows, all patiently waiting for their next entrance. Shelves above the clothing racks are lined with cardboard boxes and plasticky bins. Oh my, says Michael, rummaging through some clothes in a section labeled Oliver. He pulls out a hanger with a tattered tunic, some knee-high breeches, and a rumpled cotton shirt. There's a floppy hat looped through the hanger hook. This was my costume, he gushes, from 6 years ago when we did Oliver. Who'd you play? I ask. Michael blushes a little. Oliver, he says, then he quickly jams the hanger back in its spot. You were the lead? I say. I guess, says Michael. You've been coming here since you were 10, right? Says Brooklyn. Yeah, Camp Footlights? These are my people. He points to the section of racks up ahead. The chorus line top hats are in the top boxes on the third shelf. Brooklyn pulls over a platform ladder. Michael scampers up it. So what show are you in this weekend? I innocently asks. None of them, says Michael. But you used to? You were in Oliver. Yes, Jackie. I used to be in shows. Not anymore. What happened? I wonder. Michael turns around and gives me a look. Ashley Jones. Chapter 20. The next day is Sunday, and nobody's going to rehearsals for Ashley, or prepping for any of the other shows in that week's showcase. We're all boarding a bus for New York City. We've been invited to a matinee preview of Birds of a Feather, a Broadway musical starring, drumroll please, Latoya Sharon. That's right. When Miss Sharon came to see me down the shore, it was on her day off from rehearsals for what's sure to be her next big Broadway smash. I'm totally stoked about the trip down to the city. Brooklyn? Not so much. I'm going to hang out in the costume shop, she tells us over breakfast. Why? Says Michael, who's sitting at our table. I'm not going to be down there, and I'm in charge of costumes this summer. I wouldn't miss Latoya Sharon in anything. She's a goddess. Brooklyn shrugs. We have to hot glue sequins on all those dog collars. Yes, it's true. Ashley wants her backup dancer dogs to be spangly too. They should glisten behind me like twinkling stars with the instructions on the note she had delivered to the costume shop. It was written with swirling purple pink on frilly pink paper. The twinkling stars from a galaxy far, far away, of course. None of them should sparkle brighter than me. Are you sure? They say to Brooklyn. I'm positive, she says. But you two, go. Enjoy. Of course, I don't let on that I know Latoya Sharon. That she's my sponsor, my patron of the arts, as they used to say back in the Renaissance. In other words, I don't tell people Miss Sharon is footing the bill for my stay at Camp Footlights. I want to keep that kind of thing a secret. Not that I'm embarrassed to be receiving her financial aid. Okay, I am. Totally. But I also don't want people to think I'm bragging or name-dropping. Oh, yes. I know the star of this Broadway show. What Broadway stars do you know? On the bus ride down to New York City, Michael and I, unfortunately, wind up in the seat right behind Mr. Beasley and Echo. Mr. Beasley spends a lot of time finger-twirling the hair behind his left ear and whining about the show we're going to see. I wish we were seeing Phantom or the Secret Garden, he says. Phantom's Secret Garden, mutters Echo. Even the Will Rogers Follies would be better. Rogers' Will Follies better, is the echo. Mr. Beasley sighs. But I suppose we can't beat the ticket price for this Latoya Sharon show. We can't beat Latoya ticket. It's free. Echo nods before she mutters, free. As we approach Times Square in the theater district, I can't believe my eyes. I've never been in Manhattan before. There's so many people on the streets, so many shows, so many cars that smell like chocolate where vendors sell hot dogs and pretzels and niches. So many bright lights bedazzling the marks outside all the Broadway theaters. Does it get any better than this? No, it does not. Wow, is all I can say after I stop off the bus and tour around, trying to take it all in. Wow, 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 wow! Michael snaps a photo of me standing in front of the Music Box Theater, where Birds of a Feather is playing. Over my shoulder looms a huge illuminated picture of Latoya Sharon smiling down at me. I know her, I want to shout. I do a show with her, but I don't. Ashley Jones is giving me a look that says I'm acting like a rube. A hick from the sticks. I guess you're supposed to act cool and aloof even when you're about to see your very first Broadway show ever. Even when it stars somebody you actually know. Mr. Beasley sees my big smile and shakes his head. Too bad you'll never perform on the Great White Way, Miss Hart, he says. Too bad never, says Echo, shaking her head. Mr. Beasley gives me one of his haughty sniffs. From what I hear, you're just not musical comedy material. Echo nods. MCM. I assume they've been talking to Madame Lamond and Ashley and everybody else who saw my improvised mime dance routine. It might have been comical to me in Brooklyn anyway, but I guess it wasn't very Broadway musical-ish. Chapter 21. The show blows me away. It's funny. It's preppy. It tugs in my heart and gives me goosebumps. All of a sudden, I don't care what Mr. Beasley says, even if his flunky Echo repeats it. I want to be on Broadway someday. As I watch Latoya Sharon work her amazing magic, it's all I want to do. I could see myself on stage, basking in the love of the audience, just like she's doing so graciously every time she finishes another incredible number. Only, I won't be dancing, and probably not singing, but I'd be the one with the bit part getting all the laughs. Just like Suzanne Brooks. She has only 2 scenes in the first act of Birds of a Feather. She doesn't sing a note, but Suzanne Brooks stole both those scenes because she's hysterical. And her comic timing? Amazing. She also knows how to do a perfect pratfall. By the way, pratfall is a playful way of saying you land on your butt. Intermission comes too quickly. If you didn't use the bathroom before the show started, Ashley informs our camp group, good luck. The bathrooms in Broadway theaters are notoriously teeny tiny. The line for the ladies' room will be impossible. Next time, do like Mr. Beasley and I did. Go before the show. What Ashley says is true, says Mr. Beasley. Go before the show. So true, adds Echo. Before the show, go, go, go. But that's why you kids come to camp, says Mr. Beasley, to learn everything there is to learn about show business from professionals such as myself. Thankfully, Echo goes with the shorter version of the speech. Why you can't pro fish for my elf. Unfortunately, I need to brave that ladies' room line. I had an orange string before the curtain went up. Michael said Broadway theaters were famous for their orange strings, so I had to try one. Now I must pay the price. The line for the ladies' room is, as advertised, is extremely long. But Miss O'Mara is in it. Jacky? She sees me before I see her. Hi, are you here with the Camp Footlights kids? Yep, it's my first Broadway show. Isn't Latoya amazing? Incredible. I'm going backstage after the curtain call, my favorite teacher in the whole wide world says. Want to come with me? I'm sure Latoya would love to see you. I'd love to see her too, but I'm with everybody else. We have a bus. It can wait 5 minutes. All the Broadway shows let out at the same time. The streets get so congested, it's impossible to drive anywhere anyhow. I don't know. I'll talk to the camp director. What's his name? Weasley? I laugh. Mr. Beasley. But to tell the truth, he's also a little Weasley. We both visit the ladies' room. Somehow, the Broadway ushers make it work. They get everybody in and out with enough time left over to buy another orange string, which I don't want to. Miss O'Mara has a word with Mr. Beasley. He reluctantly agrees to wait for me to say hello to Miss Sharon after the show. You have 5 minutes, he tells me. 5 minutes you'll have, comes the echo. The second act is even better than the first. Miss Sharon has a big number near the end that blows the roof off the theater. Not really. There was no actual damage done to the theater ceiling or roof, but her song is a real showstopper, meaning they have to stop the show so Miss Sharon can bask in the elation of standing ovation before the performance even ends. Oh, and Suzanne Brooks is hysterical in her second act scenes. She steals all 3 of them. She's who I want to be when I grow up. After the final curtain, Miss O'Mara takes me backstage to the stars' dressing room. By the way, that's amazing. There are so many bouquets lined up on the counters, so many light bulbs ringing in the mirrors, so many notes from well-wishers. Hey, Jacky, says Miss Sharon. For an instant, I can't believe it. The Broadway star who took all those bows actually knows my name. You're amazing, I say when I remember how to speak. Thanks, she says. Oh, can I have your autograph? I ask. Miss O'Mara and Miss Sharon both stare at me a little when I make this slightly odd request. Miss Sharon signed all sorts of stuff for me when we did that Shakespeare show together in Seaside Heights. Sure, says Miss Sharon, probably thinking of Brady. It's not for me. It's for my new friend Michael. Oh, says Miss Sharon, smiling and nodding. The fellow camper? Yeah. So how are things going up at Camp Footlights? Pretty good. Thank you again for seeing it all up and, well, for everything. My pleasure. There's a roommate. Brooklyn. Brooklyn? She's great. That's her name. Brooklyn. She was born in Brooklyn. Miss Sharon nods. Interesting. She doesn't have a last name, I explain. Well, she probably has one, but she doesn't use it. She's like Madonna or Prince. One name only. And this Brooklyn is a good kid? Asks Miss Sharon. Oh yeah, we're already besties. That's great news. My roommate at Camp Footlights? All she did was snore. Chapter 22. Monday afternoon, after a few fun acting classes that, woohoo, Ashley wasn't in, I'm ready to head back to the costume shop so I can hot glue some more sequins. Brooklyn doesn't come with me. I have this thing I have to take care of, she tells me. What kind of thing? I ask. The important kind is the only answer I get, but Brooklyn does wink, so that makes me think it's something personal and secret. Maybe even a boy-girl thing? My big sister Sophia would be so proud. I shoot Brooklyn a thumbs up to let her know I get it. She goes her way, I go mine. Down in the costume shop, Michael has already framed and hung his Latoya Sharon autograph right over his sewing machine. You can't believe you actually know Latoya Sharon, he says with a hand to his heart. I played one of the fairies in a production of A Midsummer's Night Dream that she starred back at home. Because she knows my teacher, Miss O'Mara, they did Annie together when they were kids. The more shows I mention, the more I remember how I'm not going to be in one this weekend and how my whole family is driving up from Jersey to see me in a show, which, like I just said, I won't be in. While I'm stressing, Michael is beaming. I will cherish this autograph always. I will also take it with me wherever I go, except, not to the bathroom or anything. Right. Good call. So where's Brooklyn? He asks. I'm not sure. I really could have used her help today. What's up? Brandon Maloney. Who's that? The genius 10-year-old writer. Seriously? You could be a genius when you're 10? He reminds me of that comedian Jerry Seinfeld, says Michael. The guy with that TV show? Seinfeld's funny, I say. So is Brandon. He writes funny. He always acts like the sky's falling. Plus, Ashley has declared that Brandon, like me, is not true musical comedy material. That's what she said about me, too. Welcome to the club. Anyway, we're in a real costume crunch because Brandon came up with a goofy last-minute show idea for this Saturday showcase. I guess it's more a sketch or a skit than a full-blown play. Michael gestures to a table with what look like giant white pillowcases and sheets of felt, yellow, orange, red, brown. It sounds like a hoot. He calls it scrambled egg. It's all about an egg that doesn't want to get tossed into a frying pan with two sizzling strips of very angry bacon. I'm laughing because one of the acting exercises in my early morning class was to be a strip of bacon sputtering and shrinking in a pan. Not sure what the point of it was, but it was fun. The costumes are pretty simple, says Michael. But I could use help, especially since we still need to add more sparkles to Ashley's top hat. The girl has high bling expectations. I'll take care of that, I say. You whip up the eggs and bacon. Perfect. About an hour later, we're both working away on our projects when the short kid with long hair ambles into the costume shop. I'm dead, Michael, he says, throwing both his hands up. Dead, I tell you. Michael rolls his eyes. Having a bad day, Brandon? Yeah, someone stole my mood ring. I don't know how I feel about that. He looks at the two bacon costumes Michael's laid out on a cutting table. Will these shrink when you wash them, or only when you fry them? Doctors say that each strip of bacon you eat takes 9 minutes of your life. I should have died in 1492. I like to come down here late at night and rotate the body parts on your mannequins. I don't think you ever noticed, Michael, but you certainly turned a few heads. I'm shaking my head and laughing. The little kid is funny. So what's the problem? Michael asks Brandon. My egg quit, Brandon exclaims. She wanted to sing and dance and become the next Ashley Jones. I told her not everything in the theater is singing or dancing or Ashley Jones. She told me to grow up. I told her, I'm 10. I'm working on it. Brandon shakes his saggy head. I blame Mr. Beasley. In my humble, make that expert opinion, the man has ruined Camp Footlights. He wants to turn us into a branch of the Beef and Boyd's Dinner Theater, where he is the artistic, and use that term loosely, director. Can you imagine? People eating prime rib and baked potatoes while actors perform on stage? Do you think it's a movie? Movie actors can't hear you chewing or asking for extra sour cream and bacon bits. Stage actors can. Plus, you can't get prime rib at the movie theater concession stand. Michael laughs. That'd be funny. A movie theater selling prime rib and baked potatoes along with popcorn and candy. I need a new egg, Michael, says Brandon, clutching his hands together to beg for divine intervention. I need a new egg. I need to be in a new show this weekend. Any show. I raise my hand. I'll do it. Chapter 23. Okay, playing an egg in a wacky sketch with 2 slabs of bacon won't be the same as doing Shakespeare Down the Shore or starring as Snoopy and You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. But my whole family is coming up to see me in a show on Saturday. And right now, playing the lead character in Scrambled Eggs sure beats singing in the audience and showing off all the rhinestones I've glued into place this week for Ashley's costumes. Besides, there's something about Brandon's weird, somewhat dark sense of humor that I like. The kid makes me laugh. Jacky here is hilarious, Michael tells Brandon. Back home in Jersey, they call her Jacky Ha-Ha. Yep, I say, mugging a funny face. That's me. I'm like that Barbra Streisand movie. I'm a funny girl, which was a Broadway show before it was a movie, says Michael, because, hey, he's a theater kid. They know their history. Brandon pitches me the concept for a show. It's a satirical take on what it means to be truly committed, to take a leap of faith into the great unknown. And I'd like to get all the thematic subtext stuff. But to tell the truth, I just want to know what the egg does. What's my comic bit? My shtick. And do I get to do a funny pratfall like Suzanne Brooks did in Birds of a Feather? Do I crack a few corny egg jokes, or is it a yoke on me? Sorry, couldn't resist. The 2 miserable strips of bacon are sizzling in the pan, says Brandon, holding up his hands to make a frame and picture the scene. The pan is a trampoline. An egg rolls along, climbs the ladder, and after some yucks, jumps into the frying pan with them. Yes, I can do a pratfall. I'm in, I tell Brandon. Great, give Michael your measurements so he can make your costume. It's a baggy white sack with a yellow felt circle in the center, Michael explains. No measurements required, Brandon. Fantastic, says Brandon, looking sunnier than when he did when he came into the costume shop. Let me talk to my baggage strips. What's our rehearsal schedule? You're in the lodge? I nod. Jacky Hart, room 235. Cool. I'll slip the schedule under the door. Cool. We shake hands, then Brandon dashes off. I'm in a show, I say to Michael when the 10-year-old wonder kid is gone. My parents will actually get to see me do something on stage. It'll be a hoot. Can't wait to see you in that egg costume. I hold up the top hat I've been working on. I think this is done. There's not enough space on it for one more rhinestone, bingle, or bauble. Can you run upstairs to Ashley? He nods towards the ceiling. Once again, we're being serenaded by the stomping of feet from above. I want to cut your yolk out of the yellow felt. Finish up these 2 bacon suits. No problem. I slide the shimmering top hat into a round box and bound up the stairs to the stage. I can hear the music and Ashley belting out the My Best Friend Is Me song. I also hear Madame Lamont counting out the steps for her dancers. And right, and turn, turn, turn. Step left, step left, kickball change. I come up in the wings of the stage where it starts. My eyes slowly adjust as I wait for a break in the rehearsal. We really don't want to interrupt everybody just to deliver a hat, no matter how amazingly sparkly it is. Ashley's in the spotlight center stage, but my eye is quickly drawn to one of the background dog dancers. Whoa, she is amazing. Latoya Sharon's spectacular. Whoever the girl is, she definitely moves better than Ashley, which means Ashley probably hasn't seen her doing it yet, because the last thing Camp Footlights resident superstar wants is someone upstaging her in the chorus. Now the girl does a very balletic spin and starts moonwalking, gliding away from me. She steps into the spotlight beam behind Ashley. I can see the girl's face. It's Brooklyn! Brooklyn told me she couldn't dance, sing, or dunk. Huh. Apparently she was lying about at least one of those. Go Brooklyn! Go Brooklyn! Chapter 24. Take 5, everybody! Cries Ashley as someone rushes on stage with a towel so she can dab the sweat off her brow. She sees me weighing in the wings. What are you gawking at? Yes, my chin is still halfway down my neck, because I'm staring stupidly at Brooklyn, who hasn't seen me lurking in the shadowy wings holding a hat box. Is that my hat box? Says Ashley. Gimme, gimme. She makes the accompanying gimme, gimme hand gesture. I march out to center stage and hand her the box. Ashley pulls out the hat and blinks repeatedly. She is blinded by the bling. That's perfect, she proclaims. Congratulations, Jacky Ha-Ha. It seems you finally found your talent, making hats. For moi. I mumble, you're welcome, and drift over to where Brooklyn is toweling off her face. Brooklyn? She whips around. There's a look of panic plus guilt in her eyes. I can explain, she says. I bow slightly, extending my right hand. Yes, kindly do. Madame Lamont called my mother. My mother called me, she shrugs, so here I am. This is the thing you had to take care of? Yeah, sorry. But you told me you couldn't dance. She bites her lower lip. Yeah, about that. I give her another sarcastic bow. Please, do go on. I was trying to make you feel better. Excuse me? You're all, I can't dance. Then you started stuttering. So I, played along. Pretended I was a terrible dancer, too. Oh, so now I'm terrible? No, you're funny. You just can't dance. Oh, I see. I'm so supernaturally untalented I needed your pity. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Actions speak louder than words. Unless, you're screaming the words. Screamed words can be a lot louder than some actions, especially the quiet ones like, I don't know, petting a cat. That's not very loud unless the cat starts purring. Brooklyn smiling. You're very funny, Jacky. Am I? Or am I just really hurt right now, so I'm very blabby and gabby? Enjoy the rest of your rehearsal. Don't let Ashley see how good you are. Maybe tell her you can't dance. It worked on me. Excuse me, I have to go try on an egg costume. I storm off the stage. This is the last thing I need. My first friend at Camp Footlights lied to me. Worse, she did it because she felt sorry for me. Well, I don't need Brooklyn feeling sorry for me. I don't know how to feel sorry for myself. I have a lot of practice doing it. And in some ways, it's my own one-woman show. That night, I skipped in and head down to a picnic table near the lake. I don't want to be in the room with Brooklyn. I did grab a piece of Camp Footlights stationery out of the tiny desk we're supposed to share so I can write my mother a letter. And something I did a lot when Mom was over in Saudi Arabia during the Gulf War. I don't know if I ever sent her this letter, but it always makes me feel better to write down my emotions. I've been lying to myself. Being a performer is not who I was meant to be. If it were, God might have given me a little more talent. The kids up here at Camp Footlights, they're all superstars, Mom. They can sing, they can dance, they can act, they could probably even juggle while they walk on stilts. It's time for me to face facts. I don't fit in, not in Seaside Heights, not performing arts camp, not anywhere. I wish I liked math more. I think I want to be an accountant when I grow up. Numbers don't lie to you. Numbers don't tell you they can't dance or dance when they really can. Numbers don't need a spangly hat like something out of the Grand Ole Opry. I fill the page. And then I wad up the sheet of paper and toss it into a trash bin. I do not feel better. I need to do something bigger, bolder. I need to climb a Ferris wheel held the moon. Unfortunately, there are no Ferris wheel at Camp Footlights. But there's a full moon rising over a lake. And the lake is surrounded by trees. Very tall trees. Some of them are even taller than the Ferris wheel back home in Seaside Heights. I may be easier to climb too. So that's where I'm going to do my howling. I clamber up the branches of sturdy oak. I'm about 40 feet off the ground. The moon is so big, it feels like it could reach out and poke that Mr. Man in the moon right in one of my eyes. I howl. Yes, I feel better. Until I look down. 2 branches below me, I see a very creepy raccoon sticking its head out of a big knothole. It's rubbing its paws together and smiling up at me with spooky moonglow reflector eyes. I don't think it's going to let me climb down as easy as I climbed up. I don't think it's going to let me climb down at all. Chapter 25. Being trapped up a tree gives me time to think. For instance, raccoons. What do they like to eat? Are my toes on the list? And why do they have to have such incredibly human faces? I have enough people giving me the stink eye. I don't need a furry garbage can grazer glaring at me too. When I was up at the top of the Ferris wheel back home, I made a solemn vow with the stars, the ocean, and God as my witness. I promised that I would stop doing outrageous stuff like climbing Ferris wheels and fulfill my tremendous potential, the one my teachers were always telling me I was wasting. Well, in this tree, I make a vow before the moon, the raccoon, and God, if he or she is still listening to anything I solemnly vow, quit worrying so much about what other people think about me. The answer to all of life's questions was written on that t-shirt flapping in the breeze back on the boardwalk. Be yourself, Jackie. Everyone else is already taken, so I'm going to do that, starting now, right away. Starting now, right away. Okay, right after I get out of this tree. Jackie? I hear a voice. I hope it's not the raccoon, and if it is, I hope I wake up in a cartoon. Jackie! I look down. Brooklyn is standing at the base of the tree. Michael's there with her. One of them has a flashlight and is swinging her around. Finally, it hits me. Yep, for the first time at Camp Footlights, I am the one the spotlight is aiming for. Hi guys, I say. Are you okay? Asks Michael. He has his hand cupped around his mouth to make a microphone. I'm pretty high up. Yeah, but I'm afraid Rocky Raccoon down there might think I'm more than okay. He might think I'm magically delicious. The spotlight lowers. Now the raccoon is center stage. It hisses. Maybe that's how raccoon sings show tunes. How'd you know where to find me? I ask. We didn't, says Michael. So we looked everywhere, says Brooklyn. The flashlight picked up some glare on that picnic table over there. That's Michael. Ha! If you spend your days sprinkling glitter flakes and hot gluing sequins, you're always going to take some of your work home with you. Jackie, shouts Brooklyn. I'm sorry I lied to you about being a dancer. I should be the one apologizing to you, I shout back down. A dancer is who you are, Brooklyn. It's who you were meant to be. Don't forget, I saw you dance. You're amazing. And you're hilarious, she screams up at me. So maybe we should both just be who we meant to be, I yell. Worked for me, roars Brooklyn. Yes, and the history of friends making up after an argument, I don't think one has ever been quite as loud as ours. Even the raccoon looks like it wants to cover its ears with its creepy little hands. Yeesh! The next time you need to make a solemn vow, go find yourself another Ferris wheel, kid. Chapter 26. Can you climb down? Michael calls out at the top of his voice. Not really. We should call for help, says Brooklyn. On it, says Michael. He runs back to the lodge to call whoever you call when a kid is stuck in a tree. Probably the same people who deal with treed cats, I'm thinking. So, I say to Brooklyn, is that why Madame Lamond was so upset with you when you joined me in my goofy dance? She knows how good you actually are. Yeah, I guess. But Jacky? Yeah, the goofy dance was fun. Who says choreography has to be serious all the time? There was some funny dancing in Birds of a Feather. Really? Yeah. I wish you'd come to Broadway with us. Maybe next time. Yeah, next time. While we wait for the rescue squad, Brooklyn and I chat about all sorts of stuff. We decide that maybe one day we'll do a show together. She'll do the beautiful dances, I'll do the funny shtick. 30 minutes later, Michael leads some very friendly volunteer firefighters to my tree. They have an extremely long ladder. They're joined down below by Mr. Beasley, Echo, Brandon, and half the camp. They're all staring up at me, waiting for me to make my descent. They do not look like part of the expression, happy campers. When I'm safely on the ground, Mr. Beasley shuffles over and makes a snooty but annoyed face at me. This isn't exactly the grand entrance I was hoping to make at camp. Give me one good reason why you shouldn't be dismissed from my camp. Good one reason, Swiss miss. Good reason one, Swiss miss, says Echo. Well, I start, but Brandon cuts me off. Because Jacky Ha-Ha is an inspiration to us all, he says, pushing his way to the front of the crowd. She's completely and totally dedicated to her craft. You want to talk about total immersion, Mr. Beasley? Jacky Ha-Ha walks that talk. Oh, really? Mr. Beasley and Echo say simultaneously. Ha! Scoffs Ashley, who has joined the crowd. I think she needed time to do her hair and makeup before making her dramatic entrance. Scoff if you will, Ashley, says Brandon. Well, I'm scoffing all right, but Miss Hart is going to be the egg of my show, Scrambled Egg. To do so convincingly, she needs to know how it feels to be stranded high above a skillet, staring down on her destiny, the frying pan. And so, like all our most dedicated actors, Olivia, Brando, Streep, Caroline Jean Griswold, she must be first create a sensory memory of that feeling. He points up to the tree limb where he recently roosted. Mr. Beasley, fellow artists, Jacky actions this evening do not call for dismissal. No, they call for praise, honor, and accolades. For there will be no pretending in my piece. There will only be truth and honest emotions. Come Saturday night, Jacky Ha-Ha will be the egg. Marvelous! Shouts Madame Lamond with a gasp. I guess she likes artsy stuff even when it isn't dance. Give the girl a badge, Mr. Beasley, cries the acting teacher who had us do that shriveling bacon improv in class. Kick her out, shouts Ashley. Jacky's wacky. Echo leans in and whispers something to Mr. Beasley's ear. He doesn't look happy to hear it. Fine, he finally says. Well said, Brandon. He turns to me and strokes his beard. I'm looking so forward to your performance this weekend, Miss Hart. So forward-looking, Miss Hart, weak knees, says Echo. I'm sure your sponsor will be pleased. Sponsor pleased. Then, as my heart sinks, Mr. Beasley turns to the crowd of campers. Oh, didn't you all know? He says with a smirk. Didn't you know? Oh, Echo is smirking too. Know what? Demands Ashley, placing both her hands on her hips and giving the world her most petulant pout. Mr. Beasley sneers. Miss Hart is only one here at Camp Footlights because LaToya Sharon is footing the bill. Jacky Ha-Ha is a charity case. Charity case is all Echo repeats. Oh my, says Ashley coyly. Yep, I've been outed. Everyone knows my secret. I'm nothing but a boy kid from New Jersey who doesn't belong to the same camp or the same league as all these rich superstars. That's it for part 1 for this book. Be sure to tune in next time for part 2, and be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.